Is this Australia? Is this just a lie by the government?
And I need to take a shit.
Well, I was trying to do a parody of Bohemian Rhapsody, but I guess that works. Welcome to Garbage Talk.
I need to take a poo.
That's nice. So apparently Australia doesn't exist, right?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. But first, movie reviews. Quickly give some reviews on a couple of movies I saw over the holidays. Yeah, this is what Garbage Talk has become now. Just me talking about...
Lost no ideas. We're living in a cardboard box. Please subscribe.
Me talking about movies at the start of everyone. Right, Incredibles 2. Pretty good. Animation improved.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna give any spoilers. I'm just gonna quickly skim over this. Why'd you say that, Samuel?
What do I think about it? Well, first of all, like the first Incredibles, it had some good morals. Basically, don't be a feminist. Accept the job you are given. Men take care of the babies.
What?
If you be bad, you get the sugar.
Have you watched it?
Johnny, yes, Papa. And that's literally Incredibles.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Well, I liked how the animation improved. I liked how they expanded on a couple of the characters more, like how they had the subplot about the love life crisis. That was engaging.
Funny meme, funny.
Okay, at least for me, because I have a shitty love life. Pretty good. I don't think it was as good as the original, but it was good. Like,
yeah,
it was worth seeing.
Wait, Jaden.
Yeah?
I'm add my 2 cents in. I felt like it was more like Mrs. Incredible's movie than it was the Incredibles movie, if that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it focused a lot on her, and like how the first Incredibles movie focused on Mr. Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
The third one should be about Violet and her love life crisis, and realizing it's the time of the month.
Samuel. I realized at the end of the second one, the love life subplot was like in the place where it left off in the end of the first one.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, because he gets his memory wiped. Oh, spoilers. Well,
Jaden, that didn't actually happen in the movie, though. What do you want about?
Well, it did happen in like the first minute,
wink,
so...
Wink. Oh yeah, that.
You know they copied that off the short Jack Attack from the first Incredibles DVD. You know the babysitter from the first movie?
Wait, which babysitter are we talking about?
That one that looks after Jack while they're on the island.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, there was this short film about what happened while she looked after him. And then at the end she gets her memory wiped, like, and the conversation happens like exactly how it did with that guy in the second one. Right. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It was dumb.
I haven't actually seen it because I decided to waste my money on something else.
What?
10 strippers. I saw on Hotel Transylvania that my date showed me up on.
Oh, really?
You know who my date was?
I think Ella watched that. Who was your date?
Guess.
Trinity.
No.
Sky.
No.
Really? James.
Yes, no.
AJ.
No, it's a girl. Don't worry, I'm not the gay yet.
Timania.
No.
Well, who was your date?
Really? I thought this would be the most obvious one.
Marika. Yolone.
Oh my god, you literally just passed her.
Jessica.
Yes!
Which one?
Oh, which one do you think?
The blonde one?
Yes.
Okay.
I got stood up by her.
Aw, that's sad. Well,
Just awkward, so I said, wow.
Yeah.
She basically did a Violet to me, Incredibles 2.
Oh, really?
Can you add that to the video?
And what?
Like, add,
A clip of it?
like, running away? So you can do that.
Oh. Fallen Kingdom. The trailers were really misleading. It's basically like, oh, the plot of this movie is that they're trying to get the dinosaurs off this island and like save them and stuff. And you think, oh wow, this actually looks pretty interesting. But I was disappointed. This has spoilers, by the way, because
Why does it start at a bar?
literally 2/3 of the movie, the last 2/3 of the movie, was set in a house with dinosaurs in it. Are you watching the trailer?
We've run out of ideas. Let's go back to the first movie. From an island that's about to explode.
The trailers also spoiled some of the best moments. Like, every time something awesome happened, and that was pretty rare, the chances are you already knew it was going to happen because it was in the trailer. Like...
You're roasting this movie, Jaden, damn.
Like when that new dinosaur like sneaks into that girl's room, that was kind of disappointing because it's chasing them through the house. Then she like runs upstairs, and you kind of think, oh, how's this gonna happen? She's like lying in bed, and it comes in and tries to eat her. She runs upstairs, and instead of trying to hide, she literally just climbs into bed, and the dinosaur comes and gets her.
That's just retarded. Like, I thought I literally had 5 brain cells left.
Okay, the characters...
Chris Pratt, please save me. Get into your Ant-Man suit.
The characters weren't that good. There was pretty much no development in the characters. Like,
it's Chris Pratt.
Like the two mains. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know, they were still okay to watch, because it's Chris Pratt, and he's, like, a cool guy.
Carries the whole movie.
Yeah, there's this one part.
Outrunning a volcano.
There's this one part. They get into this fight with all these guys with like guns, and he basically just shoulders them all. And none of them like get a hit on them. He basically just like shoulders 10 guys, but it's kind of stupid. But you don't care because it's Chris Pratt, and also the lady who I kind of hated in the first Jurassic World. I didn't mind her this time. Maybe because she was just nice to look at. What? Oh, it had some pretty good action, some pretty good thrills. That's good. That's what you need in like a dinosaur monster movie. I like that guy with the glasses who like screamed heaps, and he was like real nervous about everything, even though he was really insignificant to the plot. I mean, all he really does is kind of just stab that Asian scientist guy at the end. Like, why did you make this dinosaur? Oof. Yeah, and there was this other girl that wasn't even in the trailer, I think, that was like a medic, a dinosaur medic, and she was really insignificant as well. She kind of just hung around and then disappeared around the last 2/3 of the movie. Disappeared. Oh, there was this plot twist. There's like this little British girl in the movie who lives in that mansion that I mentioned, and she, it like kind of sets up this reveal about who her parents are. You know, like how it kind of does that with Star Wars with Rey.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is cool. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be like some famous Jurassic Park character? Yeah. There's this one point she like opens this book that she's not allowed to open, and she finds a photo, and it's a photo of a girl that looks like just like her standing next to that maid lady in the mansion. And then you kind of get confused. And then later on, this random guy reveals she's actually a clone. Cause that... Okay, so the grandpa that owned the house, he had a daughter, and she died in a car crash or something, and he wanted to bring her back, so he made a clone. Somehow.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this was kind of dumb. And also, like the whole Leia flying thing in The Last Jedi, they don't bring it up for the rest of the movie! So it was, like, pointless. They kind of just get told this, and then, like, a dinosaur attacks the bad guy who told them that, and then, yeah, the girl kind of just freaks out for a moment, and then it's never mentioned again. It's so dumb.
Yeah, she just does not care, to be honest,
Yeah. So basically, most of the movie is set in a mansion, which was disappointing, like I said, because it's stupid.
Yeah,
just a bunch of dinosaurs running around in a house. Who wants to see that? Okay, so basically the plot is that these bad guys are trying to make a new dinosaur, a real dangerous dinosaur, so that they can, like, sell it and use it. Oh no, so they can, like, use it in the war or something. So they make this new dinosaur and kidnap a bunch of other dinosaurs from the island and, like, lock them down locked them in the basement underneath the house, and somehow the old man who owns the house doesn't know about any of this. And then there's this dumb dinosaur auction scene where they get a bunch of rich guys to come in their house and like, okay, who wants the raptor? 4 million? Oh no, I see 5 million. Oh, I see 6 million. Oh, 10 million sold. And then they sell the new dinosaur, but then there's some guy who has an obsession with picking dinosaurs' teeth out of the mouth. He tries to pull the dinosaur's tooth out of its mouth, but it eats him, and so the cage is left open, and it basically like chases him around the house. And it was a pretty cool looking dinosaur. Like they set it up to be this really scary dinosaur that you don't want to mess with. It kind of just runs around the house for like 20 minutes, and they end up killing it by knocking it through a roof and impaling it with dinosaur bones.
Makes sense, you know, just the usual.
Anyway, at the end, they let all the dinosaurs out of the basement because I can't remember how, but for some reason the basement was filling up with like toxic gas or something, and they're like, oh, and the clone girl says this real dumb line, like a Rose line from The Last Jedi.
Clone girl, did you just call her?
Yeah, and she's like, she basically presses this button and opens the doors and lets all the dinosaurs out into the world, and she's like, I had to. They're alive, like me.
Jesus Christ, I'm expecting like Finn to pop out and be like, what the fuck you done, bitch?
I feel like that's a new, what was that line?
Literally, Finn was about to suicide bomb a freaking...
Oh yeah, that's how we're gonna win, not by fighting those that we hate, but saving the ones we love. He was literally about to save everyone.
Yeah, he was about. That was his love. That was his love.
Anyway, it was a dumb movie. I mean, my initial reaction when I walked out of the theater, I kind of thought better than the first Jurassic World, because I don't know. I guess that was kind of just what I thought at first, because it was something new, and I liked that lady better than the last movie where she was kind of just annoying.
Outruns it.
Yeah, but then I kind of thought about it for a while. Now I realized it was a dumb movie. I'm probably going to see the next one though, because that's what they were trying to set up, the dinosaurs running out into America.
Into America, and they're just going to rampage. You know what's going to happen?
Yeah, apparently there was this end credit scene that some people stayed for, and they were really disappointed, because it was literally just like a couple of pterodactyls landing on the fake Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas and just roaring, then the movie ends.
You know what's going to happen in the next movie?
What?
Basically, the dinosaurs are actually going to like get this new disease and turn into zombie T-Rexes, genetically modified aliens from Mars.
Oh no, even better, they're going to turn into cyborg dinosaurs. See, people are going to attach guns onto them and stuff, and use them in the war.
Dun 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 dun.
Hopefully the next movie isn't dumb.
Well, we can't get much dumber than this. A bunch of like dinosaurs chase people around a mansion.
Was it? I'm not sure. Was it dumber than Jurassic Park 3? Because that movie was kind of stupid. I mean, they literally had a dinosaur eating a phone, and the phone ringing from inside it. Australia. It's a place. We all know and love it, unless you're from New Zealand, so we hate it, JK.
I mean, I hate it, to be honest. I mean, if you actually like Australia, then you're probably retarded.
Unless you live there.
That or Australian, but I can't tell the difference between the two.
Okay. So the Flat Earth Society, I've said a lot about this. I finally...
What, are you just saying about my brothers?
I really wanted to speak about this, because it's something really interesting, something I'm really into. They think that Australia doesn't exist.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
It obviously does. I mean, this is coming from someone who...
You have no proof. You see that map? That's fake.
Alright. Well, I've been to Australia 7 times, so I can confirm it's real.
You went to Wellington. That was dry.
Oh yeah, alright, sure. Anyway, I'm gonna play some videos. You probably won't be able to hear them since I'm playing them on my iPad, but I will add them in later. Okay, so this first guy, I'm gonna play the clip now.
By mentioning the words Vegemite, Australians, kangaroo, and Australia in the same sentence as any variation on the word to be, is, was, are, am, or are, if I haven't said that. What you're doing is validating the entire myth of Australia as a real place on the planet.
Well, the funny thing about that is that he said Vegemite. We actually have Vegemite in New Zealand, so does that mean New Zealand doesn't exist?
Because New Zealand and Australia are the same thing. You see, the South Island, right?
Is independent.
Okay, that's another topic.
Yeah, we should talk about that sometime. Yeah?
It's actually just Australia, the South Island.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
Think about it, because the South Island's on the Australian Teutonic Plate,
Mm-hmm.
and we're on the American.
No, we're on the
New
Pacific.
Zealand,
We're on the Pacific.
same diff.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Please don't tell me I'm actually convincing you.
If Australia is a continent, then I guess the South Island is part of it. Well, most of the South Island. I think the fault line kind of goes through it.
Because it's not. Australia doesn't exist. Australians don't exist. Right? I mean, how can you take it seriously? A continent that's also an island that happens to be in Asia, and yet it's full of white people.
What
Okay.
about us? What
He-
about us?
Yeah, he's getting most of his facts wrong as
What
well.
about Papua New Guinea? They're fucking white.
I can confirm that Australia is not in Asia.
Yeah, we're in Oceania.
But it also has Indians. And they have giant bouncy bats with pouches and big feet that give birth to live slugs that crawl up their ankles and jump in the pouch, and then 9 months later you got a little baby tarantula that pops out or something.
This is his proof. Okay, I'm not sure what he's on about, but
That somehow proves that there's literally living organisms in a country. Whoa.
All of this stuff was created by Dr. Seuss in the year 1968. Theodore Seuss Geisel wrote a book called Sneetches with Beaches, and the Sneetches with the Beaches had an animal in there called the kangaroo, which lives on the continent of Australia.
Makes sense, you know? It's not like, though, Dr. Seuss actually never mentioned kangaroos ever.
yeah. So this guy is saying that Dr. Seuss made up kangaroos and Australia. Can you confirm that?
I can definitely confirm this.
Alright.
It's not like, though, that the kangaroo character came way after he died.
Which was founded by criminals. None of this is real. How could it possibly be? It's not.
He basically rants on about how Australia doesn't exist, but then at the end, he says this.
And if you're an Australian, you're either really confused or probably a little pissed off right now.
What do
So-
you think?
Do Australians exist or not? Like, is this guy just taking the piss or?
You know, he's more mood swingy than just in the... Whoa,
Okay.
Whoa.
This next guy is, seems a bit depressed, but I actually laughed at this video. Right, I'm gonna play the clip now.
I just found out some devastating news. My online boyfriend, who I've been with for a couple months now, he was lying to me. He's been telling me he lived in Canada. He recently was talking to me on call. We were talking about the city he lived in. He accidentally said Sydney. Sydney is a part of Australia. The thing I'm really questioning is, how does he live in Australia if it doesn't exist?
Okay, so how does he live in Australia if it doesn't exist?
Makes sense. Makes sense. He's just floating above the ocean, like, yeah, this is where
I'm a little confused and really wondering why he's lying to me. And then he said, yeah, it does exist. And I said, no, it doesn't. And he said, why doesn't it exist?
Then this is what he says after.
Well, if you know how the world works, you know the world is flat. So when you look out at the ocean, you can see all the other planets and countries, like Japan, Pluto, but you can't see Australia. I just don't understand why someone would lie to me after everything we had together. It just sucks, so...
you can't see Japan when you look out at the ocean. What the? Like, if you're in China, right? You're in China, you go to your nearest beach, the coastline, you're not going to see Japan, okay? Or Korea.
Maybe this guy just needs to go to Australia.
Wait, this guy must have some really good eyesight if he can see a planet from the ocean.
this next guy, I have so much hate for him. Now we're getting into the Rag Reynolds videos. So he's this YouTuber who, well, all the other guys could easily be taking the piss, but this guy is dead serious. And I think it's safe to say right now that I have more hate for him than Jake Paul.
Okay.
And I hate Jake Paul.
That's just embarrassing. That's just embarrassing.
First, I might as well tell you the story on why Australia doesn't
Kids,
exist.
turn away. This is unpeaky.
He says that when you land in Australia, you're actually landing in New Zealand.
Like, just that's
And
what happens.
they give you a drug on the plane. Basically, you hallucinate being in Australia. So basically, his story is, I'm quoting him here, the guy who founded New Zealand.
Who founded or
Yeah.
found?
Founded.
So, the Māori people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Realized that his country was stupid and that the accent was boring, so he decided to make up somewhere worse so that people wouldn't hate our shitty country. And that's when the myth of Australia
Well, I hate our shitty country.
was
so it's
created.
okay. I mean, at least we can agree on something.
I watched one of this guy's
I think our
podcasts.
accent is pretty shit.
I watched one of this guy's
Our
podcast. He's done barely any research on New Zealand, so I don't think he can accuse our government of making this stuff up.
Oh, can you imagine they're like the Māoris? They just sail here, and they're just like, all right, we got to keep the white people away from our country. What are we gonna do? Hallucinate them when they come near us, and make them go to this fictional place called Australia.
Right, I'm gonna start playing this video now. So this is from his video, I went to Australia, it isn't real. And this is easily a lie.
I went, but I didn't go.
Because he got so many of his facts wrong, I'm just gonna play it now.
I'm Rag Reynolds, and today I want to tell the story about when I visited Australia. I mean, it's been highly requested. People in my comments in my Australia videos are like, what do you know? You've never been there. How can you say that? It's not real. Well, here I am, dummies, to tell you that I did visit there. When people go to Australia, they're actually landing in New Zealand and they are drugged. So I did some research to find out what the drug was. Carotene, that's what it's called. I'd never heard of it before, but it's some sort of hallucinogenic. I wanted to find something I could take that would counteract the effects as much as possible so that I could see for real what was going on. But I took some of it, and what happened was I went to the airport, I had my ticket, I got on the plane, and we flew off. And there was a point during the journey where I started to feel tripping. When we landed, no one else got up from their seats. And they're all sitting there, and they were all almost in a trance, just still, eyes wide open, no one was blinking.
Or maybe they're sleeping. Hey,
And
Jane, have you ever heard of this thing called sleeping? It's a new revolutionary idea.
oh, then he starts talking about the stuff that he apparently saw, and most of this is obviously made up because he obviously knows nothing about Australia.
Is Australia in America?
I saw some kangaroos hopping around. I saw a man cutting off a snake's head. I saw some huge spiders that were bigger than cats and birds. And
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, definitely what you see when you go to Australia. And the thing is, he doesn't he doesn't say anything about how long he was on the plane. And also, people take holidays for different lengths of time, don't they? So there's people on the plane who are going on holiday. They apparently went to Australia, all on the same plane, had a holiday for the exact amount of time while the plane was in the air, and then headed back to Scotland altogether on the same plane. So that doesn't really make sense.
But you know what does make sense?
What?
Nothing.
True. I'm gonna keep playing this.
that was a great holiday, and we were getting off the plane eventually when it landed, and everyone's like, that was the best experience of my life, I want to stay in Australia, and the Australians are all so lovely.
Right, so this next video. So an Australian YouTuber, Laserbeam, responded to his last video. He started talking all sorts of crap about him. He decided to strike back. He started, and basically this is his video saying that Laserbeam
struck back.
Laserbeam is delusional and that he's not actually Australian. Okay, I'm gonna play this.
And this guy is delusional. He thinks he is from a place that he is not really from. So today we're going to respond to a video he made.
Feels pretty real, eh? I don't know, man. CGI's getting pretty good. It could all be fake.
Oh, I walked outside. That means Australia is real.
Well, streets in different places. Streets in different places look different, don't they? Okay, this is something that's kind of been bothering me about this.
Australia, you have a snake near you.
And people have gone to Australia and taken videos of it. So, you know, what does that mean for those videos? If Australia doesn't exist, they'll film themselves like on big beaches and stuff, does that mean those beaches are just in New Zealand? No, we don't have beaches like that.
You are in New Zealand. It is okay. I do not necessarily blame you for that. It is the fault of the New Zealand government.
God damn it, national.
And later, this is funny because later on he goes and tries to straight up roast Laserbeam. Even after saying he doesn't blame him.
I don't blame you for being delusional, but you're retarded.
You're a very racist and bigoted country. I mean, there are so many bad things about this place. To actually then think that that place is somehow anything less than awful, that really makes you delusional.
We're the worst country on earth?
That Australia is.
But that's New Zealand, so he's technically roasting New Zealand.
Well, no, he was saying that if Australia was real, then it would be a very terrible country and you'd be delusional to think that it was a good place. Apparently.
I mean, that's one thing we can agree on, at least.
I don't know, Australia has... it has nice places in it. It's not terrible. I mean, at least they don't have AR-15s.
That feeling, you want to know a funny thing though? AR-15s only do 1% of school shootings.
Really?
Yeah, so if you ban them, it doesn't really do much.
Oh, okay.
No, I just don't like it because the people there are assholes.
I went to Australia. It isn't real. This is part 2 of whatever the hell we just witnessed.
This is not part 2.
And this guy's going, no, this is not part 2, and he basically rants on for a while about all the different parts to his Australia series. And the funny thing is, he shows the video thumbnails, and he's watched most of them. Like, I'd say he's probably watched all of them, and you can tell because of the red lines on the thumbnail. Why would you show that in a video?
Rip.
This is kind of just sad.
Australia isn't real. Here's why. I went to Australia, it isn't real, and it's proof that boomerangs don't come. Skippy the bush kangaroo and how that proves that Australia isn't real.
He did a video called The Proof That Boomerangs Don't Come Back, as if that proves that Australia isn't real.
Hey, Jaden.
He probably wasn't even throwing the boomerang right, yeah?
Did you know, right? If you shoot yourself in the head, you won't die. This proves that New Zealand is not a real country. I think you should believe me. And if you don't, you're delusional, and it's all National's fault.
Okay.
I wish I had substances in my body that made me imagine shit. This sounds like a good time. I wish there was an option.
How insensitive are you to actually joke about something that serious? It's disgusting.
So Laserbeam basically made a joke about the supposed drugs that he used on people to make them hallucinate Australia. And this guy basically gets all offended at him and goes, How could you say such an offensive thing? This is an actual thing that's happening to people.
He has no footage.
But he literally just said a while ago that it's okay because he's delusional.
How dare you be delusional, Jaden? How dare you?
Alright.
I hope you enjoyed your class today. The homework is going to be, how do I not become like this guy? That's the homework today.
If you want to become like me, you can read my book, because why wouldn't you want to be like me? There has never been a better time to stop being you and to start trying to be more like me, and you can do that.
Okay, this guy definitely got laid. You know what he used to do? He used to go up to the girls at like lunchtime and stuff and be like, "Hey girl, you know that Australia's not real? Want to see my proof?"
Ow, I just hit my nose on my knee.
You hit your nose on your knee.
Yeah, and my nose has a sore pimple on it, so...
You're delusional, mate.
I love how you said that in an Australian accent as well. I think you're delusional.
Nah, mate. We don't exist. What do you want about?
Right.
I did challenge this guy to a debate, but he said no, because obviously he is not confident enough in his own positions and his own self to have a conversation about this.
He's too scared to talk about the truth that Australia doesn't exist.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I think it's probably because he has like 1 million subs and he probably has something better to do than challenging some idiot to a debate about whether or not his country exists.
Nah, you know.
I'd say I'd rather play
I
Fortnite.
think Lesbian's just scared. I think he's delusional.
Now this next video, this one's a little bit odd. So it's basically this girl talking about how she's never met anyone from Australia, so Australia apparently doesn't exist.
Okay. Well, is it, what's her name? The girl who insulted New Zealand?
No.
Ori Hacker.
What?
Do you remember the girl?
No?
Oh, she was like this blondie, right? And she like insulted New Zealand a bunch. She was like, "This is the Maori hacker" and stuff.
I think you're delusional.
And then she also made another video, right? She was like, okay, she was about to drown, right? She was drowning.
Okay.
And this guy saved her, right? You following?
Yeah.
And when she's saved, she has like water in her lungs, so that's you have to do CPR. So the guy does CPR on her, right? And then she goes on to sue him for unwanted physical contact. I'm not joking. You can't make this shit up. She's like, I didn't ask him to save me. It's like, no shit, you couldn't save her. That's why.
Hey guys, I've been having a crisis lately. My question to you all is, does Australia really exist? Because I have seen so many things, so many movies about Australia and books and stuff, but I don't read books. And I've never actually met anyone from Australia.
I've actually become depressed now.
Yeah, but she's never met an Australian. Well, listen up, girl.
Because it's a movie.
Just go on an Oceania server on Fortnite. They're all over the place. You can't escape them.
Have you ever met someone from Australia?
Samuel, have you ever met someone from Australia?
No, because it doesn't exist.
Right.
So I was talking to a support robot.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently, this is what pops up. Right. I'll share. You want me to share you my screen?
All right.
This is what showed up. Alright, I'll go through my conversation. Nah, I speak English. Me too. It is my natural language, although I know a few words and phrases in many languages. For some reason, I said a bonjour, right? And it pops up with this. And then you go to the bottom and says, "Mum, I want to do a poo."
What?
And I write yeet. But I want to do a poo in Paul's bedroom. I'm like, what? No. I'm going to do a poo at Paul's.
What? What?
This is an ICT robot, guys. This is what robotics do.
Okay.
I think our government could be doing this North Korea type of crap. So, I think it's a cool thing to not like the government now. So
this girl basically says, the government could be lying to us, and I think it's cool to not like the government now. So yeah.
It's cool to not like the government. Okay then. Okay.
See, this is why I believe in Australia, guys. Because there are people like this on the internet.
Yeah,
that you'd have to be crazy to believe.
They're very highly intellectual.
Intellectual.
Yes. See,
That-
like up in Australia.
That guy from before, didn't he? I watched one of his podcasts, I might have told you about this. He was debating whether or not Australia was real with these Australian girls. And he said, name somewhere with more dangerous animals than Australia. And they said the Amazon. And he goes, what? Amazon.com. And they're like, no, the rainforest. He's like, what? That doesn't exist. You're just making stuff up now.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, like the whole continent doesn't exist. There's only one country in the world, and it's the USA. Every other country is fake.
Oh no, I saw a comment on a YouTube video that said that New Zealand is the only country that's been proven to exist. And I guess that makes sense, because
Yeah,
I live there.
I guess it makes sense too. I bet like National and like Labour.
I mean, have you ever left New Zealand, Samuel?
Okay.
That proves that no other countries exist.
Okay, that's just a low blow. Like, okay, fine then. We get it, Jaden. You go on 10 trips.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm joking. I'm making a joke about how
Fine
New
then.
Zealand
I don't-
is the
I
only
don't
country that
like you
exists.
then.
And I've seen kangaroos. How can they be real? Nobody thinks kangaroos are real.
I've seen kangaroos. How can they be real? No one thinks kangaroos are real.
Nobody thinks kangaroos are real. Is that correct? Is that something they said?
Yeah.
But didn't you just say that
I'm searching up an image of a kangaroo.
Didn't he say that Dr. Seuss? What? I'm so confused. He said about Dr.
You see,
Seuss.
all these people have different stories.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Which one are you going to follow? The New Zealand government is lying to people? I think...
Their government's lying to them?
the American government is lying to people?
That we take a pill every time we get onto the plane?
Oh, yeah.
That Dr. Seuss invented it?
Where does the plane actually go?
Like, it just crashes like Malaysian Airlines?
Oh, that was a bit of a disappointment that they never found MH370.
I was just checking, make sure you were right. Yep, you're right. You know why?
Why?
Because apparently the fucking pilot was depressed. So
Really?
he's, so it's
Didn't
like,
they get hijacked? Didn't they do a 9/11 into the
no,
ocean?
if they're going to do a 9/11, then like it
Into
would
the
be way
ocean.
more serious.
Well, no one actually knows what happened.
Yeah, but apparently this is the story I heard. The pilot was depressed, so he's like, you know what, fuck it, and just crashed.
Actually,
Yeah, that's the story I've heard.
I heard that the plane took off, then got hijacked and turned around, then radio contact was lost, then they cut out the oxygen, apparently.
And killed themselves. Makes so much sense.
Alright, here's the last clip. This one looks like a joke, but I'm just gonna add it in, because... Alright. So this person's basically getting a world map of Google Images, putting it into Photoshop, and getting rid of Australia. But the thing is, they get rid of New Zealand as well. I thought that New Zealand made up these lies. What?
New Zealand made a lie about itself being a country.
All right.
I just want to say, I think you got to give us some credit, guys. We've been pretty rusty and shit. We got a test tomorrow.
Oh, I haven't studied.
We got 2 tests tomorrow, and Jaden. Don't worry about it.
Wait. We have 2?
I think so, unless the test's on Friday. No, it's on Tuesday.
Okay. Oh yeah, this video is sponsored by the Crew too. JK, it's not. I just decided to use that as the backdrop for the video.
Like and subscribe to get a free copy of your Crew 2 pick, huh?
I'm not rich, so don't... yeah, subscribe, but you're not gonna get a free game.
Oh, he is, believe me. I have one. I have 500. The first 500 people to subscribe get a Crew 2 each. One everywhere. My whole room's covered in them. There's actually one in my third nipple. You're not...
I feel like Josh is more likely to say that. Oh, you should have heard him in electronics today. We were talking about science fair, I think, and someone was like, "Oh, there's only a $50 prize for the prize winner," and then Josh was like, "Oh, well, I can get that in 5 minutes." Now Samuel's dead.